the potential of mankind. We struggle so much with the potential of man. How many of us know we have potential? How many of us are underachievers of our potential? Oh, it's hard, isn't it? You know, Paul said in Romans chapter 7, verse 15, and we'll turn to it. Romans chapter 7, verse 15. Look what Paul says about his own potential. It's an amazing verse. Look what it says. Romans chapter 7, verse 15. It says, if I do what I do not want to do, I agree with the law. And that's not 15. 15 is, for I do not understand my own actions. For I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. Don't you love Paul? How many of us have ever been there? I have so much potential to not hit snooze on my alarm. Every night. And then I wake up, and what do I want to do? Hit the button. And the greatest thing is you wake up to make excuses why to hit the button. If I only had 15 minutes more, I would be more rested. Oh, it's a good time. It's a little cold out there. I could stay in. Oh, our potential is just wasted. There's a reality that this potential is the same thing that we know. We are full of potential. Our lives are full of potential. Our creation, our hands are full of potential. But yet we never reach it. See, it's an interesting thing that God tells us that he looks at man and he says, nothing is impossible for them. Why? We're wicked. We're evil. But we're also created in his image. We're created in who he is. But yet we don't live up to our own potential. Our potential is very interesting because the very fact that we have potential, we know that it's there, but we need something to fulfill it. And this is the amazing thing. God's looking at them. He's looking at a city they're building. He's looking at a family together. He's looking at the spread of everyone there. And in that moment, he's like, there's nothing that's impossible, but yet he knows there's longing. There's something that they're missing. Their potential, although it's fully there, can never be fulfilled. Their potential is not fulfilled because our potential is only fulfilled in Christ. In Ephesians, we know this. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. Look what the Lord gives us here about who we are. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. Isn't that an amazing verse? We are his workmanship that he created in Christ Jesus for good works. And God did this beforehand. Paul really wanted us to know our potential in Christ because he repeats this in Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20. Look what it says. It says, now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all that we ask or think, according to the power at work within us. He's telling us that our potential is fulfilled in Christ and we can do more in him. But yet, they're still not in the Tower of Babel living up to their potential. They're not living up to seeing what God actually has for all of mankind. So God looks and he talks and he tells them they have great potential. But then he acts. Look what it says in verse 7. It says, come, let us go down and there confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord dispersed them from there over the face of the earth, and they left off building the city. So the Lord came down, and he's like, if you guys won't disperse, I'll make you. Don't you love the Lord? Doesn't that sound so vindictive? But there's a truth that the Lord is doing this out of love. He comes down and says, let's go down there and confuse them. How many of us love to be confused? Now, really think about this moment. Everyone's talking, you're having a great time, and God comes down. There's some guy, Christ, right there, that's what I believe, and he confuses the language, and all of a sudden you can't understand the person next to you? Oh, that'd be horrible. It'd be the worst moment ever. You'd want to pull out your hair. Except for there's some good things that we know from the verse before. God did this within families. See, they were looking at one giant family, mankind, and God was saying, I want you to disperse according to your family, your tribes. So the husbands and the wives and the kids, they all spoke one language. And as they spoke one language, they sat there and couldn't understand anyone else. This language confusion is amazing. But we have to ask, well, what language were they speaking beforehand? Because I know we have to ask that question because I asked that. Now, I do not believe that the language that they were speaking as one man exists today. I believe this is a language that we will speak in heaven. And God confused the language and they just dispersed everywhere.